Should authors be leveraging long-form content on TikTok? We know that right now TikTok is leaning more heavily into longer form content that is over a minute long, that can be very long on the platform, and both vertical and horizontal. And they're leaning into it because of the monetization abilities. If you have a longer form piece of content, you can run more ads to it, meaning they can make more money. And if you're monetized, it means you potentially could be making some more money as well. And so right now they are kind of leaning heavily into longer form content. That does not mean you shouldn't be making short form content under that 60 seconds. It just means you should have a good mix of both of these things. But you have to be smart about this, authors. You cannot just randomly toss long form pieces of content on TikTok and hope and pray that it works. You have to do this with strategy. So again, a longer form piece of content is going to be over a minute long. It can be vertical, it can be horizontal. It could be you sitting down to have a normal TikTok conversation and it just kind of goes a little bit longer. It's like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. Or it could be like you sit down and create an actual piece of content for something like YouTube and then you repurpose it on your TikTok. Your goal here is to be instructional, educational, informative, and to be entertaining while you do it. We do not want fluff. We do not want extra things, because if you give people the opportunity to swipe away, they will. So fluff is not going to work in your favor. You have to do something that drives that conversation forward for the duration of your long form piece of content. And you need to make sure that it is well created, well lit, the audio is good, that it is produced, that it looks like an intentional piece of content. Or the flip side to that is, because it is TikTok, you can also do kind of like a little selfie mode and like walk and talk. And if it's a little bit longer, that'll work to your benefit. Because the longer form pieces of content are being shown more because they can run more ads. And then if you're monetized, you get part of that as well. So you should be doing a mix of short form and long form content, because keep this into consideration. When people come to your profile, they want to understand who you are and what you're about. They are going to look and see if you're going to be a good fit for them. So they're going through your content. People who are just finding you are not going to sit through a 12-minute video and then a 5-minute video and then a 7-minute video to figure out if you're a good fit. They will look at your 30-second videos. They will look at your 15-second videos. So you should have a pretty good mix of those short form pieces of content and the longer form pieces of content. And we know that TikTok does allow both vertical and horizontal so that people can turn their phones and see the horizontal full screen instead of that tiny thing with the black bars up on the top and the bottom. So you have the opportunity to bring some of, but not all of, your YouTube videos over to TikTok. And that's going to be really good because they can kind of get a taste of your YouTube channel. But keep in mind, the YouTube ecosystem, very different than the TikTok ecosystem. So what works really well on YouTube may not work on TikTok, and vice versa. So you have to find something that's going to work for your audience. Now, unlike some of these other platforms, with your longer form piece of content, they are going to be shown in the FYP as people are scrolling through. So they are going to be able to see it. So you have to have a really good hook and a really good reason for them to be staying, because when they realize it's a longer form piece of content, they're going to, in their short form mind, say, do I really want to invest 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 12 minutes of my time on this topic here? TikTok, from a viewer perspective, is short form. They want to see and they want to scroll. They don't want to stick around for very long. So you gotta have it really good content if they're going to stick around for this, or you have to have it just a little bit over that minute mark so that it doesn't feel like they're going to be doing a heavy time investment in this. So you as an author absolutely should be trying to leverage long-form content, because that's where the monetization is. And right now that's where the views are. A lot of us are getting way more views on our longer form pieces of content than our short form pieces of content, but we're not getting the watch through on it because it is longer. So right now it really just is about figuring out what's going to work well for your audience and draw more people in. You have to have a good mix of short form and long form content. I would even say a little bit more on the short form side than the long form side. I would go 70% or 80% short form and then that 20-ish% long form content, so that you have some of each and you can benefit from both of those, but you have enough of the short form to draw people in and to keep them there. Be very smart, be very intelligent, and test this out for more than a short amount of time. You want to test this out for a couple of months to see what types of long form is going to work in your favor, what's going to work well for you. So break down things that are going to hook in your audience. If you're marketing your books, if you're talking about writing strategies, if you're talking about things in the bookish world, just be smart about how you do it and how you present it. And then make sure you have some level of production to this so that people can see you are being intentional about what you are saying to them. And that makes you look more professional as well. So I want you to start thinking, how can I work in 1 or 2 long form pieces of content per week into my content to make sure that I am giving the algorithm what is going to work well for me and help me to grow, and give me enough information to decide what angles I need to be taking with my long form and short form content. The more content you can put out, the better you can do. You know, over on my main channel, I teach people how to do 90% of the content you create in under 5 minutes start to finish. That is coming up with the idea all the way through creating and posting. So it doesn't have to take you a ton of time and effort to create your short form content. And a lot of those strategies can also play into your long form content to save you time and effort as well. So drop your questions down below and follow along for more. We're going to keep talking about how authors can leverage social media, both here on this channel and over on my main channel where I do that professionally. And we're going to help you to save time and effort while you're doing this, while you're navigating the world of being an author, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make this your best author life possible. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.